the more time someone has, more experience they have in their career, the more times they've seen the patterns, which gives them a lot of knowledge of, in my opinion, the patterns that allow them to look more expansively or thoroughly over time to make good advice and decisions. So might be, for example, but then on the other side, the more experience one has, the more stuck in their ways they may be. Or at least that might be the perception. Like they've done it many times, so they're not as open to new ideas, perhaps, right? And somebody who's younger or has less seniority can also have great experience and great ideas for planning. So these are just sometimes perceptions, sometimes misperceptions. But but people who are, let's say, just out of school don't have all these experience under their belt, but they're learning things afresh. They're learning things new, and they may have more exposure to the latest technologies. So it's kind of a combination of those make for really strong teams. So might be, for example, and I've seen this kind of pattern both at GitLab and other places, is a engineer who's 2 years out of school working with an engineer who's, let's say, 20 years out of school. And the engineer who's 2 years out of school used some technology that was invented 5 years prior in school. And it'd be really, really useful for a project. And then they bring it to in a discussion with where it includes somebody who has 20 years, and that they say, hey, I've seen things like that before. Here, yes, this is a great tool, great technology. What are the pros and cons of it? What's the performance? What's the maintainability? And then those might be unknown things, and you kind of take the combination of the new idea with what are the questions that you should ask as implementing that new idea, and the combination makes for a really strong team. If you just have one or the other, you can have those challenges. And what I'd say, it's great to do mentoring of people with more experience and less experience, but I'm going to add that it's better to do reverse mentoring of the people with less experience but more recent experience on the latest things, often, not always, to bring that in as well. And I've seen some great books on that. For example, there was one by somebody who is, I believe, an advisor to the CEO of Airbnb, who came from the hotel industry and had no technology experience, but knew hotels really well. This is sort of at the beginning of Airbnb. And he understood kind of the hospitality space really well, but didn't know about, at the time, I think they were mostly putting their ads on Craigslist. Had no idea what Craigslist was, for example. But he was able to partner with people who really knew those things well or grew up on them to say, well, okay, that's great. Teach me this technology and how it can be applied. And I'll tell you about my experiences and how that could potentially apply to this industry, et cetera. And the combination of that was really good.